Hello and welcome to Cricket News Live. Well, London has a lot to offer us this week in terms of sports, unless, of course, you are an Arsenal fan, because that is a tough ride. But we're not here to talk about that. That we can talk about almost any time. We are, of course, here to talk about the fourth test between India and England at the Oval, a series evenly poised after the first three tests. And to talk about what's to come our way, we have two fine gents of cricket news joining us, Mr. Abhishek Mukherjee and Mr. Sandipan Banerjee. How are you both? And what's the mood ahead of the Oval, the big test at the Oval?
England did not pick a second spinner. India added Prasidh Krishna to their squad.
Yeah.
Both teams have seen both England knew what the pitch has in store. India also knows what India has also seen the pitch. They have added Prasidh Krishna after that. So I don't think there is going to be a lot of turn. None of us has seen the pitch, but based on these two selections, not picking a second spinner and getting Prasidh Krishna in, I think this may assist. This may not assist the Oval like a traditional. It may not assist the spinners like a traditional oval pitch. Of course, none of us has seen the pitch. Until we do that, and everything is speculation.
Yeah. Sandipan, what are your thoughts?
I think India have added Prasidh Krishna just for precautionary reason because they don't have any spinner in their in their ranks in their substitute or in their net bowling contingent. So there are high chances of Ashwin playing tomorrow. Keeping my fingers crossed. And remember, Shardul Thakur is also fit, so we have to see.
Umesh is there.
Umesh is also there.
And Akshar Patel is there.
Yeah.
Akshar Patel is
on top of all these bowlers. They have now added Prasidh Krishna.
Exactly,
so
that's the strange part.
Something
Probably
has
that is because maybe Ishant is not fit enough. Maybe he's not.
That
Probably the team management believes that he's not 100% fit. And these matches come in there is only 4-day gap between the last day's play of the last test and this one, so they are just covering for one of their pacers, right? Any unfortunate incident can happen. So rather than that, whatever I have read, whatever I have read about this oval pitch, I think this will turn. This will be a typical oval pitch. But interestingly, England also there is no Jack Leach in their England squad as well. So I don't know. Actually, for India, I think the most important part was they were concerned about Jadeja's fitness, right? So if Jadeja was out, then India would have been in a deep hole because Jadeja can play the role of a genuine all-rounder at that point. If he was not there, obviously Ashwin could have come in, but number 7 in England is a one position too high for Ashwin in the batting order.
In that case, you may see. If it is a turning pitch and Jadeja is out, we may suddenly see Ashwin.
No,
and
Jadeja is fit.
together.
Jadeja is. They have confirmed. They have confirmed in the press conference. Jadeja is available to play, so he will definitely.
Decided.
So the question is whether they will play Ashwin or Shardul Thakur.
Yeah, pretty much. And just to give you a bit of an explanation,
Hanuma Bihari is in the scheme of things. But at this point, I think they will trust Rahane. So Rahane will get probably one more game.
Yeah. Just to give a bit of. Thank goodness they are not doing that strange thing of announcing team 24 hours ago. I have no clue why they do that. Why give your strategy away to the opposition? That makes no sense to me. But okay, it's nice that they're not doing that.
At times, it might just be a sign of team being much more confident in their ranks, and maybe just to put a little bit of pressure on the opposition who may have any second thoughts.
I think England, England, there is a tradition in England. England have always, not always. Now they are not doing it for this series.
Australia
Australia and
started
England have
this.
done it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
understand the home team doing this. Home team can do
hmm,
this and to announce the 11 and release the substitutes for to play domestic cricket. But that concept is gone because
yeah,
now these days they have to keep a big squad. First, to have the concussion substitutes in place, and secondly, for COVID backup.
Yeah.
If someone
exactly. So
gets
we have
goes
seen
down
in
last,
the
yes,
we have seen in the recent past that the players getting injured just before the toss, right? So
yes, even
I
after the
mean,
toss.
Yeah.
somebody stepped on the ball, or something happened.
Well,
So what
peculiar
is the rule?
injuries
Just
have
I
happened.
just want to ask. Yeah, I just want to ask Abhishek, what is the rule? Like one of your bowlers get injured after the toss, then, but the play
If
hasn't started.
yes, you can replace uh, if the opposition captain allows. So, 2009 Ashes, I think it was Matthew Wade. No, Brad Haddin. Brad Haddin was injured after the toss, but Andrew Strauss allowed Graham Manu to keep wickets for Australia. I mean, to play for Australia in that Test match. So Manu made his debut, and that happened only because Strauss allowed him to play after the toss.
Nice. Nice. And in the current context of this series, just to give a bit of an explainer or updates to the people who have joined us and are not having this information as of now, as far as the England squad is concerned, of course, Joss Butler taking some time off from cricket as of this moment to be with his family and will not be part of the England team, England squad for this Test series. Johnny Bairstow as coach Silverwood, Chris Silverwood has already told will be the number one keeper for England in this Test series. Sam Billings coming in as the reserve wicket keeper. Chris Woakes and Mark Wood back in. And Mark Wood, by the way, we just saw a video of him yesterday bowling in the nets, hitting the deck really hard. So looking really good ahead of the fourth Test. Good sign for England as well.
I think they will just prefer Woakes ahead of Wood. If Curran
Okay.
is left out, they will want that batting cushion.
Yeah. And we talked about Woakes' batting record as well after the second Test got concluded. So might as well be good to see him back
Woakes
in
has a
action.
terrific batting record at Lords, but well, is close near
Exactly.
Lords,
Yeah.
same city
It's the
at
same
least.
city.
He
Yeah.
has a
It's the same
terrific
city.
bowling record as Lords as well. He
Yes,
has a
yes.
terrific bowling record.
Yeah. Yeah, but
If you make an
But
all-time Lords 11, Woakes will fit in. He's that good. He has been that good at Lords.
that's a good bit of headline for English media to use as well. You're most welcome to use that. Just do mention that Abhishek Dar did say this a night before the big test. Now to talk
But
about India's
this is
squad,
not the Lord. This is not Lords. This is the
this
Oval.
but
is the other side of the Thames,
it's the
and
same. It's the
Ah,
same city. I think unless and until we're talking about Premier League, in which we have
yes.
so many London clubs, we can just go ahead with by saying it's London.
no,
And
no.
then
There
now
is a massive difference between Lords and Oval. I mean, in every context, there are massive differences.
I think for someone who lives in Delhi and commutes the way Delhi is supposed to be commuted, I think London is okay. Maybe yes. Okay. Okay. Then moving ahead with India's squad, one change as Abhishek Dar did mention Prasidh Krishna, but it was interesting to say what Joe Root had to say ahead of the fourth test about potentially facing Ravichandran Ashwin. And he said this with some conviction. So probably he also said that he expects changes from both the sides in this fourth test. He said that we will face the ball and not the reputation. Spoken like a true out and out performing batter in this test series. But even if conditions aren't there and aren't there in his favor, Ravichandran Ashwin in the recent past has shown us what he can do to batters. And given that Joe Root has been this big issue for Team India so far in this Test series, and only Jasprit Bumrah has dismissed him more than Ravichandran Ashwin has. You want to think that India might look at this as a potential A weapon against the highest run scoring batter in this Test series?
First of all, Root. During in these times, only the team knows who is going to play. But the second
Yeah.
best guest will only come from the opposition camp because they are the only other ones who are getting to watch the opposition's nets.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the English camp must have seen something that has
Yeah.
made them believe that India are considering Ashwin playing seriously. I'm sure they must have seen something on these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashwin will play. Ashwin will play definitely because just before the Test series, he can you guys remember he played one game for Surrey and took 5 wickets,
Yeah.
right? 5 or 4 wickets,
More,
Six,
more,
I
more.
and
guess.
that
Six
pitch,
wickets. 6 wickets. Yeah.
yeah, and that pitch was not exactly a turner, so it was not. It was a typical oval pitch, but
He was turning
he was
it.
brilliant over
Had
there.
As
he
He, yeah,
had it been in Bangladesh, you would have called it a turner.
speaking of which, Bangladesh, by the way, making the world test champions look a
Yeah.
yeah.
little
It's
different in
What?
another format.
It's not a fluke. Australia scored
no,
62. New Zealand scored
Abhishek.
60.
I would just like to reply to Abhishek. I think East
Okay.
London is mini Bangladesh, right? I mean, Oval is
Sort of.
mini
Yes,
Bangladesh.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And Bangladesh beat New Zealand in the Champions Trophy 4 years ago on English soil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bangladesh not only bowled out New Zealand for 60, a few days ago they bowled out Australia for 62.
They did. They did.
And today, 5 of the wickets went to seamers. The spinners got 5, the seamers got 5. The Bangladesh seamers took 5 wickets for 20 runs. They were not undone by spin, New Zealand. They were undone by a fantastic bowling attack.
Definitely looks like a good destination for Australia and New Zealand to be more often if they are to avoid these kind of games. But Adi Sohail, thank you so much for joining us, and to all who have joined us, we are of course talking about the England India fourth test, which is going to be played at the Oval. So if you have any questions, do ask. These two fine gents, fine viewers of the game are going to answer them for you. Moving ahead, we were of course talking about Ravichandran Ashwin, but there's another side to this whole discussion, and that is predominantly going to decide how this series goes. Perhaps it is how much the last test match which was played is going to affect the decision making for both the captains, and not the larger thinking that has been there in terms of 4+1, 3+2 for India, or in terms of the combination that England had in the third test. What do you think will prevail more when it comes to the starting 11 tomorrow?
If it's a traditional oval pitch, the what we have seen over the past 10 years, or what we get to see in Surrey's home matches, then Ashwin and Jadeja should both play. Unless the pitch curator decides to keep some grass on the pitch decides to not mow the grass or something, if they do something unusual, unless that happens, Ashwin and Jadeja are likely to both play.
Ashwin in for Ishant, that is.
Which
I mean, Ishant is looking like yeah. I mean, he was
or Ishant might have had
least favored
a
candidate.
bad day. I don't know. I don't know which was the case. Whether Ishant is unfit, whether Ishant had a bad match, whether Ishant. He looked pretty good at Lords.
Yeah.
So let's see. It is expected to be Ishant, but I think the call will happen only after the the 4 fast bowlers are observed in the nets. Remember, Ishant. All four fast bowlers are going to have a very long season.
Yeah.
So, Kohli. Someone asked Kohli at the press conference whether the India would rotate their fast bowlers. I don't think they are going to rest any of the other 3 at the Oval at this point, but they may. I don't know. Because Kohli was very positive about rotating the fast bowlers and distributing workload. So let's see.
In terms of, and I'm just asking this as someone who probably doesn't have that sort of an info, and I'm also asking this for all the viewers that we have right now who would want the answer on the same. In terms of pacers and spinners, which pitch would rather favor both these categories better? Is it Oval or is it Manchester? Traditionally
Basically,
speaking.
Manchester is,
Yeah.
the thumb rule
yeah,
is the
Abhishek,
north.
please.
The north you go, the more it assists seam,
Seam.
seam movement and swing. The further the north, that is the thumb rule in England.
Sure.
So oval is going to assist seam less. Oval also assists with spinners, and Old Trafford is likely to assist seamers more.
So on
So
this
this is
regard, do do you think that England should rotate their fast bowlers here? Probably they will rest Anderson. I mean, Markwood will
Yeah.
definitely
what
play. If he's fit, then he will play.
what will they rest Anderson for? He doesn't play other formats.
We won't say the series that will be played. That doesn't decide the number one and two. But yeah, that is
No, no.
there. That's
If
part of the discussion.
Anderson is, I mean, it gets over by in another 15 days. This series, he have a long break before the Ashes. That's okay. I mean,
So how
it
how can you accommodate both Woakes and Markwood in your 11?
I think they will
You
go
cannot
for
drop Ollie
Woakes.
Robinson.
No,
Yeah, they cannot. They definitely cannot.
so they will pick Anderson, Robinson, Overton, and Woakes. Woakes for the batting cushion. Maybe they may
Don't you
leave
think?
out Wood.
Okay, but that will make a very strong batting lineup for England. I mean, probably Overton will come at number 10.
Yes, something like that.
That's the kind
No,
of
I
question.
think I think
Anderson,
Ollie Robinson.
if you try to leave out Anderson right now, he will revolt.
He definitely will. I remember the
He is
Stuart Broad
he's all
interview.
charged up. He was
Wasn't
talking
that?
to the fast bowlers ahead of the last day. I mean, he was
Yeah,
all pumped up and everything. He is in the zone
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
I
And now
mean,
that he
he's
knows that Dale Steyn has also retired, so he'll probably want to charge a little bit more just to take as many wickets as he wants, as per those fan theories that have been revolving around social media.
what
I'm
is the fan
not
theory?
saying
I don't know these fan theories.
these fan theories are basically pitting two fast bowlers against each other and trying to find out who's the better one when the two of them have a lot of mutual respect for each other and have only admiration for each other is what I can say. But I mean, this is just
Social media
narratives.
is strange.
Yeah, and we do take it a lot more seriously sometimes than we should. But yes, moving ahead then. We do believe that Anderson is going to play in this last test is a consensus, I
Both
suppose.
tests.
Yeah.
And the Old Trafford test will be in his home ground. Probably the last
Yeah,
test
yeah.
he will ever play at home. He
That
will
I've
play.
said that's probably going to be his display up for another Portuguese who is of 36. The age is 36 and he's just recently arrived in Manchester and has been said that, at this age, he is peaking. Jimmy Anderson be like, come, I'll show you how, you peak at 39. So, nevertheless, we now have to move ahead and talk about India's batting a little, which sort of took most of us by surprise in that first innings when India won the toss and elected to bat first. And then it all went wrong for them on day one. Things like these are said to happen just, few times here and there, but for a team that has suffered 36 for 9 and for a fan group that has suffered 36 for 9 as well as 78. Well, a little bit of a scary side going into this fourth test. Do you think India will be a lot more different than they were on that morning? I mean, all of that is going to be put in some dustbin somewhere and just play this with a fresh approach.
Nothing to be scared about. England, I think, scored under 200 6 times on that Indian tour.
They did.
That's okay. They recovered 10. I mean, they are doing pretty well now. I mean,
But
all
they
teams
weren't
go
able
through.
to recover on the same tour is the question.
Well,
Going into the
in
Oval Test,
Mhm.
yeah, I think India should take a leaf out of Alistair Cook's book. So last time when India were there, 2018, Alistair Cook was struggling a lot in the first, and then the final Test match happened at Oval. He scored a double. I think he scored. That
He
was his
scored a
farewell
50
test, and
and
he
a
scored
100.
100.
which
50
which
and
50
was
and
100.
100.
his final test for England.
Yeah. So I think
But that's
Oval
okay.
has a England's best batting strip is in there. It is definitely Oval.
Tell you what, India are definitely scared about, and this sort of become a ritual straight out of the movie, straight out of the 90s and the first decade of the 21st century, which is when Virat Kohli steps on the field. Everyone goes into the praying mode, and every run, every cover drive, by the way, we've had that meme template set as well. Whenever Kohli hits a cover drive, you sort of celebrate, but try and keep calm. Okay, it's just a few, just 4 runs probably, but do you think that half century right at the end of the third test is going to give him a huge boost going into this series and now change what has been the perspective around him in test cricket for a while, that, not getting those big scores, not being able to convert the 50s into the hundreds?
I don't know. Do these boost things happen actually, or is this what we think that happen?
I mean,
Do
we can
cricketers
only think.
do cricketers actually get these boosts? I'm not sure, because when they walk out the next time, they'll still have to face a fast bowling at 90 miles an hour.
They're still at zero. Yeah, the
I mean,
scoreboard has
they
to work
start
out
from
all of
zero
it.
again.
Yeah.
I don't know whether these boosts at all happen, or is this something the experts make up? I don't know.
Just for the
Yeah,
word the
okay.
word momentum's
Okay.
sake, just
Yeah.
just just for momentum's sake. Abhishek, now come
Because
on, let's use.
4 days have passed.
I believe we can
They
still
tra-
use those.
for some
Okay,
for
Abhishek,
since we are talking
for
about
some
you
reason
Kohli,
they traveled
since
by train. They travel by
I
train.
Abhishek, you are betraying your thoughts on the cliches that you had at the end of the third test. I am very upset by that. Let's go into a bit of cliche.
Okay,
Sandipan, you.
okay. I'll tell you what they will say. Kohli will be carrying the momentum from that 50 in to the third
Yes,
to the
that's
fourth
what we
test.
want
I
out
don't
of
even
you.
know
That's
what
the.
I don't know what that means. But
It's okay. You don't have
everyone
to
says
agree with
this,
it.
so okay.
Yeah, you can just. It's okay. Sandipan, you were saying as well.
yeah, I was just saying that it's all about feeling bat and ball hitting the bat, right? It's just the feeling. I mean,
Yes.
those
Yeah,
who have played the game, that when you scored runs
Wow.
in the
Wow.
in the previous innings or previous game, you feel better
Yes.
when you go into the crease, I guess.
Yeah.
that
So
is at our level. At their level, they
yeah,
probably uh, have to train themselves to isolate from
Yeah.
what happened in the last match. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
there's
my
no
level
score.
isn't even to be seen, at
Yeah,
okay,
I
their
okay.
mean,
level.
I just want to say, since we are talking about Kohli and since we are talking about fan theories, I was
Yeah.
seeing on. I was checking. I think this was on Twitter that somebody said that Kohli. I think somebody said that Kohli should adopt the Tendulkar model. Do not play cover drive, and he will get runs. I mean, Tendulkar in Sydney,
you
2004.
can't do that if there is heavy. I mean, there is a lateral movement like what happened in Headingley. I mean, if ball. I mean, Sydney was a true wicket, a true firm wicket, where you can leave with confidence. Can you consistently leave? I mean,
And there is
just
no
like that.
Brad Williams who can
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
Anderson
yeah,
and
set it.
and forget Anderson. We know what to expect. We always knew what to expect from Anderson. Robinson has been magnificent.
Yeah. We saw that in the Pujara dismissal on day
Yes,
four.
yes.
Yeah. No. I mean, is it possible in this modern era? Can players who play all three formats, can they register themselves like that, like Tendulkar did?
Well, mm, a year after that '96 World Cup, Jayasuriya came out to bat on the second day and got out on the fifth day. So yes, I mean, players can change their style. If Jayasuriya can, then a lot of people can.
Yeah. Speaking of Jayasurya, we also have a swashbuckling
He saw
binary
De Villiers,
maniac.
right?
Yeah, we did.
We see De
We,
Villiers stonewalling from time to time.
yeah. We see
Yeah,
him
so
not playing cricket for a year and then coming back as if he had just
but
played a
okay,
cricket match yesterday.
even if you say De Villiers is a, I mean, someone who
Superman.
happens maybe
Yeah.
once in 25, 30 years. But
Yeah.
people like Faf du Plessis have also done that, right? Stonewall, and then suddenly, when the format changes, they change.
I mean,
So,
why are we talking about the foreigners? We have Rohit Sharma's example here.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
see, the best players always adapt.
And if they don't, then we obviously know
They're
that
not
they
best.
are.
They're not
Yeah.
among the best. Then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's the XYZ explainer for you on the big question that we were talking about. Going ahead
But
now, let.
to sum up, but I think Rahul I wanted to
Yeah.
sum
Yeah.
up here.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure. Sure.
for Ajinkya Rahane, time is completely running out. I mean, if he fails, I think probably he will be preferred for tomorrow's game. But if he fails at the Oval, which is England's best batting conditions, I don't think he will get a look in at Manchester. So Hanuma Bihari will definitely come into the scheme of things. So Ajinkya Rahane has to buckle up. And strangely, like we have discussed on our previous lives, this in under similar circumstances, Ajinkya Rahane tends to do well. So we
Yeah.
have seen Joburg, we have seen Melbourne recently. So let's hope for the best.
We've been watching him for some time, and he's done that consistently. Yes, that's something he's done consistently. But yes, moving forward, one of the things that struck me would be a good note for discussion is if there are any takeaways for the two of you, in particular, midway through this series, more than midway through this series, technically speaking, on the larger picture of the investment that cricket should have in a five-match test series. I mean, what does a five-match test series give us? More narratives, the opportunity to both the teams, the time? I mean, what exactly do you think?
Yeah, I mean, test series used to be, I mean, 5 match test series used to be more common. If test cricket needs to, what do you say, retain its popularity, 5 match series, not only five, at least 4 match series should be played even when India, England, and Australia are not involved. The other team should play. New Zealand should play 4 5 match series.
New Zealand should play. South Africa should play.
New Zealand
It is.
are
It is.
the
I think
world
it is. In,
champions in the format. New Zealand deserves to play longer series.
Yeah,
You can't have India, Australia, and England. See, I did some research recently. Over the past 10 years, 61% of all test matches have involved either India or England or Australia, at least one of the three. 61% of the test matches since 2010. So that
that's a
is
lot.
how where
I
test
think
cricket is headed for. Pakistan and West Indies played such an amazing series. It lasted just 2 matches. And right now, only two. I mean, I understand the T20 World Cup is coming up, but the other teams have to meet or have to visit or host the big three. If Test
Yeah,
cricket has to survive, it cannot survive on 3 teams. It just cannot.
yeah,
When India, Australia, England are not playing, the other teams have to play more. You cannot keep Afghanistan or Ireland out of cricket. You cannot keep Zimbabwe out of cricket. You have to involve Bangladesh more. They are a cricket mad nation. Why are these teams not playing 4 match series? It cannot be restricted within three. It cannot be restricted into three teams.
yeah,
That is not good. And children are not coming to grounds to watch cricket. Watch Test cricket. Children came in dozens, in hundreds to watch the 100. And the children of today are going to be the consumers of tomorrow. They are going to be the market of tomorrow. If the average age of a test cricket fan is upward of 30, then this format is not going to last. I'll tell you something else. Test cricket used to be popular. I mean, in the even before T20Is, Test cricket used to be popular because, see, if you wanted to watch someone like Tendulkar, even if you didn't watch Test cricket, where would you go? You have to watch Test matches. But now you don't have to. If you
Yeah.
are a fan of, say, Chris Gale, he doesn't play Test cricket.
Yeah.
If you are a fan of, say, someone else, if you're a Bumrah fan, you can watch other formats and you can watch Bumrah play for Mumbai Indians. You get to watch him enough. Test cricket is no longer an I mean, we keep calling it the greatest format, but it is also the least inclusive format. It tries to, in an effort to establish itself as supreme, it completely ignores anything outside three nations, it completely ignores women, and it does not attract the younger fan base. That is a huge problem. If this problem persists, 10, 15 years down the line, Test cricket will be restricted to one per tour or something like that. They won't cancel it completely because of the novelty factor, because of history and tradition, but the number of test matches per series will come down drastically.
Yeah.
That is a serious problem, and it is already too late perhaps to address that.
We certainly wouldn't want that to happen. But Sandipan, your thoughts on the same?
Yeah, I think you can, if you can market, it is all about marketing, right? In this modern era. So
Yes.
if you can market a test series, longer test series, I mean, from broadcasters' point of view, then you should definitely play for longer format. But the question is, can they? If Bangladesh tomorrow Bangladesh plays Sri Lanka in a 5 match test series, can the official broadcasters of the series market it? Can they sell it to advertisers? That's the big question. So unfortunately, so at this point, the top teams, top 4 5 teams which play longer series, because their home boards can market those. Even New Zealand do not play for longer series because they cannot market. NGC recently, I mean, in last 2 3 years was suffering a lot. Nobody was willing to buy their broadcasting home rights. I mean, can you
Yeah,
imagine New Zealand cricket?
I
You are
think
talking about New Zealand cricket.
the world
That's why they
champions.
shifted to the white ball cricket. I mean, they at home. If you have recently noticed, at home they are playing a lot of white ball cricket, especially T20 cricket. Like they are playing 5 match T20s a lot
Yeah.
because they wanted to generate funds. They are
Yeah.
going through financial problems, and so I guess that's the thing. I mean, if you can market a series, longer series, then only it will happen. Otherwise, it won't. So that's why we see, even if I'm just giving an example of Bangladesh, right? Bangladesh are playing New Zealand. If they can, I don't know whether, I think Gaji TV is the official broadcaster of the BCV. I think even Gaji TV prefers more white ball cricket than
Yes, yes,
test
that
match
everyone
cricket
does.
because they
Everyone
can
does.
know,
Yeah.
because that's the demand of the fans, right? In India, in England, in Australia, if you fans demand test cricket, but in the other countries, there are more fans which are more inclined towards white ball cricket. So that's the thing, as Abhishek has rightly mentioned just now, that if you need to involve the younger generation with this red ball game, how can you do that? That's the ICC and the host board. I mean, needs to find out. But unfortunately, it is going backwards. I mean, look at West Indies cricket board. Look at cricket South Africa. I mean, they are more focusing on white ball cricket. I mean, to be specific, T20 cricket, right? They are not involving as. I mean, I have seen. I have covered test cricket in South Africa. You get decent crowd over there, but there is no marketing at all. I mean, you need to, because anyway, cricket is not the most popular sport on that part of the world, so you have to market it, right? So, but suddenly when India were playing the white ball leg just after the Test series, there was television ads, there was marketing, and grounds were full. So you have to invest money, you have to market. So I hope that these boards will take red ball cricket more seriously.
Just
They
another point to
simply
add.
wasted their chances. They had the chance to expand. They had over a century to expand Test cricket. They didn't want to.
Abhishek,
They
but just
just
another
waited.
point.
Why did you take? Why will you take until 2017-18 to announce a Test championship? This opportunity was there for decades. Why did you take so long to? I mean, until 1926, the first 50 years of Test cricket, there were only three sides playing. The next 50 years, in 1926 they added three sides, and in the next 50 years they added Pakistan, who were added only because they became a new country. So in the next 50 years also, they didn't add a single side. They were sitting on this. They added Sri Lanka only after they played two World Cups. They added Zimbabwe after they played three World Cups. I
Just
mean,
on that thought, Abhishek, another question that can be asked now is that in a year like 2021, where we've had some fantastic Test cricket action. If you talk about West Indies tour of Bangladesh, West Indies and Pakistan, the series, the India tours to Australia and England, New Zealand winning the World Test Championship. Can all of this prove out to be the advert that Test cricket needed to make that big shift, to make that
yes,
investment which Sandipan is
yes,
talking about?
yes, it should. I hope the winning the World Test Championship provides Test cricket in New Zealand a massive boost. It is much needed.
Yeah.
It is necessary for Test cricket to survive. It is important for it to spread and be not on. I mean, it is important that these teams, that other teams outside these three, succeed and embrace the format. They play more and more. If that means all Test matches are pink ball, then so be it. There's no harm in that. They'll take some time to adapt, but okay, it'll get in the crowd.
Yeah.
If that means four Test series, then so be it. Not four Test series. I meant 4-day Test matches. It's fine. It's still better than having no Test matches.
If you put it that way, it is. But then,
And anyway, a
would
Test
love.
match in New Zealand gets over inside 3 days. What is the how does it matter if it's a 4 days or a
So
5
we were
days?
slowly moving back to the discussion we had after the third test between England
Yeah.
and India. But yes, for those who would want to listen more on that, please go to the previous video, the review of the third test that we did. But I think we've had some fantastic discussion today, and I think the only note on which we can end this is by talking about perhaps the most important thing before this fourth test, which may as well decide the fate of this series. And I'm going to ask you both to answer this in a yes or a no, and then give your description on the same. Are India going to win the toss tomorrow?
I hope they don't.
Sandipanda, do you agree to Abhishek Da?
I think at the oval is a bat first wicket, so I think they should win. But by the way you build it up thing, I thought you were supposed to ask about Javro, right? Whether he will invade the ground once again.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. We need to talk about Javo. We need to talk. Will he make it 3 of 3? This will be a nice hat trick, which I
He
don't
is on
think
a
no
hat
one
trick.
expected.
He
Yes,
is on a hat trick.
lot of
Ah.
bowlers in this series have been on a hat trick, but they haven't gotten one. Will Javo be the first one to get the hat trick? Abhishek
He
Da,
should. He should. He should. He
he
should.
deserves it. He deserves
I
it. doesn't he?
genuinely like him.
There you go. Javo has earned a big fan in Abhishek Da. And I've seen you talk about him a lot during the test series. I hope you get the opportunity to do that in the fourth test as well. But beyond Javo,
But on a
let's
serious
just
note, yes, if you are playing two spinners, you have to bat first at the oval.
Anyway, if you're
okay.
playing two
Well,
spinners, play two. I mean, it's a serve. If you're playing two
What,
spinners, you're
what's the
expecting
weather?
turn.
What will be the weather like? I haven't checked the weather prediction for
Neither have I.
London for the week.
Neither have I.
by the way, if you do check the UFO predictions as well. I haven't gotten any reports yet.
I-
Come on, we've come
Abhishek
back
Das
from all
department.
the talks. No, we need to be mutual about the predictions that you both made before the second test. I do need to bring that again and again so that our audience here knows how diversified we are in presenting cricket for them. And by the way, talking about diversity, if you haven't already gotten the information, the Cricket News Podcast Season 4 is coming back. So all our viewers do subscribe to Hubhopper, the original partners for us in terms of our podcast, of our official podcast. And we'll be there to talk about the Mega T20 season up ahead. But before that, we'll be here to talk about the Test series. Thank you so much, gents. It's been a pleasure talking cricket with you. And I hope to see you both with a bigger smile, a much bigger smile after the Test match is over, with a nice cherry of a 2-1 lead in the right direction. Thank you so much.